low. It's plus 10. Amazingly hot, as you can see. It's like t-shirt weather and so on. It's 4:15 p.m. and I'm standing in one of our bicycle highways here. This is a section that was completed last year, and this one we're going to go have a further look at it later today. They have started construction the next section of this one, and we've got our first viewer also. We've got Buddha here. Welcome. And without further ado, let's switch the camera and hop on the bicycles. Like this we go. Now that we get the camera to focus, could you please focus? Just a moment. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So our bicycle Superhighway standard looks like this. It's 6.6 meters wide, 4 meters for bidirectional bicycle traffic and 2.5 for pedestrians. And we are going to build like 70-90 kilometers of these within the coming years, all around the city. At first it's so hot here that I need to go and try to find some ice cream somewhere. Let's take the bike and go somewhere. And everybody, please, if you're watching, introduce yourself, where you're from. It would be nice to know where I'm speaking to. Somebody's still using studded tires. So this section here is still not yet upgraded. This will be built in the coming months. It will be much wider. But this section is the most difficult one here. We are going under a national highway, and well, the state. I hope it gets better soon. Let's go somewhere a bit more silent and where the internet connection would be more stable. So I don't know how it turned out. I don't know if you could hear what I just said. I'm trying to go find some ice cream from somewhere because it's so hot here. It's plus 10 Celsius. Luckily we've got some headwind so it doesn't feel quite as hot. And we've got Matt from Scotland. Nice to have you here. Welcome. Ice cream. I hope we can find something. And we've got Tom from Minneapolis. Wonderful, you made it. Good to have you here. As you see, we still have some snow left. Not too much. Let's go to right from here. This way. On my left, there's the Finnish baseball stadium. Over there. And on the right, Oulu Hall, literally Oulu Hall, which is a sports center, expo center, whatever, all of that. Not really too much good bike parking. They are installing new ones right now actually. And up ahead in the front, that's the main swimming hall. Not sure if they're open now because of COVID. And we've got Harry also here with Vattua Tankissa 7. Wonderful. And Emmanuel from Main Island, BC, Canada. Great to have you there. And wow, it's going to be plus 21 on the weekend in BC. Imagine that. They forecasted something like 12 or 13 here as well. But as we have some maintenance going on, we might have take a quick look about that. So they are brushing away the sand and gravel that was spread here during the winter time to prevent slipperiness. So there we have a wheel loader, that machine that has a brush, and also a machine that can spread some water so that it wouldn't be so dusty. And then they are collecting the stuff into this fellow. So it's over there. Be careful. Oh, there's two machines now. It's much nicer to be filming winter maintenance than this brushing, because you don't really want to be too close, even though it's wetty. It can still give you some dust in the air. And we've got also Timo. Great that you made it here too. And Tom is saying it's only 5 over there. I presume that's plus degrees of Celsius. It could be -2. I'd like that. You know, today morning it was -6. Me and Harry, we woke up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. to go for an early morning ride on the frozen swamps, mires and lakes. It's difficult to imagine that it was 15, 16 degrees colder just a few hours ago. Well, the snowcrust season is amazing, you know, they can go anywhere. Everything's frozen solid because it melts during the day and freezes again overnight, and does that many times enough, so then the snow cover eventually starts to freeze so strong that you can ride your bike anywhere. Not even mention skiing. That is beautiful. And now let's cross the left. This way. And then here. You know, these bicycle paths on both sides of this 4-lane road, I believe these were built in 70s or not, maybe even late 60s. And these are like 5.5 meters wide, and they were built more than 50 years ago. How cool is that? Also on the right hand side there's one of the local graveyards. If you're into morbid stuff. And one slight problem here is that there's not enough space for snow. It needs to be transported away during the winter time when there's a lot of snowfall. I hope we can find some ice cream soon. Most of the ice cream kiosks are not probably open yet because people think, I guess, that's too cold. I don't know. But the ones that are open, I'm sure they're going to be popular on a day like this. And as you can see, this bike path hasn't been brushed yet. There's still tiny amounts of sand and gravel here on the surface. But it's not too much. Yeah, Tom is saying on the chat that it's a good point, winter infrastructure over frozen lakes adds to the bicycle's utility. Exactly, and as the rivers also freeze here, you get multiple extra access points to cross the local rivers here in the winter time. Be it on foot or on by bicycle. Timo also wants to have some ice cream, he says. Bring me some too. So where are you now? I might consider. Probably not though. Go get your own. let's go to right from here. Oh, those poor fellows who have to sit in cars. Do you guys think that we could find some ice cream in Ainolanpuisto? Ainolanpuisto, Ainola Park, is one of the biggest parks right next to the city center. Originates from the 1800s. You'll see it soon. Let's go this way. Timo is saying that they'd like to have strawberry. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll just bring you one strawberry on Monday. Or not. I don't even know if they have some new flavors for the season. Then again, I don't even understand the whole concept of ice cream season. Not to even mention bicycle season. You know, my bicycle season started in like 1983. When I was like 1. And it's never ended. And it will never end. I think probably the same goes with ice cream season. Started when I was 1 and will never end. How about you viewers? Do you have something seasonal that you like or like not to do? I can understand like snow skiing or ice fishing can be sometimes a bit seasonal. Maybe some other things too. And for Timo, maybe surfing. How seasonal is that? Tom is saying that there should be reindeer ice cream. Imagine that. Then again, I'm pretty sure that somebody has already tried. There's probably been bacon ice cream. I'm sure that somebody has made that in the US at least. Go this way. So in Finland you would try all those weird combinations, well, weird, not weird for us, like salt licorice ice cream, which is really popular by the way, and whatnot. Yeah. Maika-chan is saying that, asking if the sun doesn't come up 24 hours on the summer in your city, and wishing that they had 24 hours sun. Well, yeah, it basically does so. We are just below the Arctic Circle, so it doesn't completely stay above the horizon. But yeah, you don't basically need any lights on your bikes for several months. And I was just checking the sunset and sunrise times for today, and this website called timeanddate.com tells you these different levels of twilight, darkness and light, daylight and so on. So it already says that now in mid-April there is no night in Oulu. There is only different levels of twilight, and the daylight length is already like 15 hours. So already at like 4 AM you don't need any lights for your bike. Oh, we've got Glenn here too. My bicycle season started in 1983. Let's get that on a t-shirt. Yeah, let's do that. I'll take one immediately. Let's go see this one. There's one of the counters. It says 1644 people on bikes today and 1035 on foot. It's for sure gonna go well over 2000 today on this spot also. Let's go up here on this old bridge. It's called Patosilta or Latokartanon silta. Patosilta literally means dam bridge. Because there's a water power plant here, hydropower plant. Here, and you see that there's some excess water from melting snow where this river comes from, and they are releasing some of that excess water, and oftentimes people come here to watch it. Like now we also have some people doing that, as you see. Let's go look at that. That would be one hell of a water slide, don't you think? It's calming. Let's just look at that for a second. Timo is saying it's too fast for a standing wave. Or maybe you are just too slow. Damn, it's a dam. Indeed it is. So this one was built originally in 1940s, so it's about 80 years old. I don't know if you can hear me because the sound of the water is quite strong. Let's go a bit further. And it looks like I have been spotted. Terence McSweeney is saying that they just saw me go past them on Kajanintie. Big fans of cycling in Oulu and love your videos. Thank you, happy to hear that. It's wonderful. This bridge should be much wider. And it will be eventually, but that's going to be somewhat of an investment to do that. Tom is saying that they hear me loud and clear. Wonderful. I hope it's not too loud, as I've had a couple of comments every now and then that my voice is too loud, and I've always gradually tried to move my microphone a bit further away. I don't know if I can even adjust the levels with the live streams. Could be that I can't, which would be stupid though. Must be possible. Oh, it's so silent now. Lovely. Good to see people on bikes. Glenn is saying that my voice has to be loud for the world to hear me. Oh. I hope they won't be frustrated. Snow melting, and that's not good. There should always be better drainage. You shouldn't drain snow and water over the bike path to the drain over there, because that's going to cause issues when it freezes overnight and melts during the day, and can last weeks, so that in the morning time you have some ice on the paths. So that's not a good thing to do. Here's one beach. It's already open. Well, I mean open from ice. And of course we have some people swimming here. As you see there, they're just coming from the water. Have you guys tried ice swimming or winter swimming? I don't know, you can't call it ice swimming now though. Probably the water could bring you a couple of pieces or chunks of ice from the upper stream. But anyway, let's make a U-turn, and I was going to go get some ice cream. Almost forgot that. How can you even forget ice cream? Oh, Pekka. Gather yourself. Can you even say like that? I don't know. There they are playing. Wonderful. And Tom is saying Timo should go swimming, and Timo is only saying that he was here today. But yeah, I also like going ice swimming, winter swimming, whichever you want to call it, cold water swimming. Every now and then, sure, refreshes you up. Oh, Timor just went past. Why wouldn't you go for a swim? You could also try surfing here, although it's a bit flat over there. That they notice many multi-use pathways and is wondering if Oulu is still building them, or are we starting to separate walking and cycling pathways. Well, that depends. Traditionally, we didn't have too many separated ones. Actually, we only had few sections and some main streets where it was usually separated by just a white stripe. But here actually is one of the really old ones that was grade separated. This one. It's one of the only examples that still exist from the old times. I believe this is from 60s, 70s also. But yeah, there is oftentimes when you go to the districts and outside the most busy areas, there is actually no need for separation because there's still such a small amount of people walking and cycling. But all of the most important main paths, bicycle routes, they are going to be separated from each other. I mean, walking and cycling, they already are separated from motor traffic, all of them. But that's how the old one looks like. They always say that this kind of grade separation produces difficulty for winter maintenance. Yeah, well, maybe you need to pay a bit more attention. But for example, last winter or the previous one, when this was part of the main bicycle route network or the main bicycle winter maintenance route network, I didn't see any problems here. Let's see. And Tom is saying that they see ruts in the dirt paths. Yeah, that's what happens during this thawing period when the snow and the icy paths are melting, and that's why especially these stone ash, gravel, unpaved paths need a really good drainage and winter maintenance, and some of them do not have good enough drainage, and that can cause the water to stay on the surface and makes them soft. But they are leveled at least a couple of times per year. But the most important thing would be indeed building the proper drainage. It is actually just a problem for a short period of time, but as with the climate change, that kind of difficult conditions, we are going to have more and more of them in the future. So drainage, and drainage. As I always say, it is absolutely crucial. And Tom is also saying that those ruts in the dirt path make their bike dirty. Don't you have fenders? Or mud guards or whatever it's called? Or should it be called dirt guards? Sure, it can still be annoying. And it would be ideal that no bicycle would ever get dirty. Nor the rider, unless they want to, of course. As you see, we would need much more space here and separation also. Now we've got 1674 people on bikes today on this very path. So we are now in Ainola Park, the park that I mentioned earlier, originating from the 1800s, and it's characterized by these white bridges the small ones that you can see also there, like that one. And there is a summer theater over there in the background where you can have open air exhibitions and plays and all kinds of events. Tom is saying that they don't have fenders, they have a dirty back. Makes it easy, more easy to socially distance. I'm sure it does. Definitely. I hope the dirty back would also keep car drivers further away from you when you're riding a bike. Not sure if that happens though. Maybe they would be afraid of getting their car dirty. You see, it's April and there's so many people here already walking there. You have to be really careful when you're riding a bike here, so this, in my opinion, should be maybe not the priority number one, but a top priority nevertheless for upgrading this path into the modern standard bicycle superhighway width, which would be at least double as wide as that one is now. Ainola Park and the playground, they've got some apple trees here, probably not too many apples yet. Oh, there's a wonderful line for the ice cream kiosk. Might take a while to get any ice cream from there. See, it's popular. At least some people came here by bike also. Let's go make a U-turn for bike somewhere over here. Let's put it here. The wonderful rig. And we're for the queue now. Wonder how long it takes. Tom is saying car drivers are oblivious to dirt. If they just saw their own, they wouldn't do it. Yeah, indeed. That's probably true. Taking off my gloves, which are a bit too much because it's so warm, but I've noticed that when I'm holding the gimbal, hosting the live streams, my hands do get a bit colder than normally when I would just be riding normally. So already today I was riding many times without gloves. What would you guys say? What is the temperature where you do not need gloves anymore for riding your bike? Or what is the t-shirt weather? It's a bit too warm here now for this sweater I'm having on top of my t-shirt. It's open though, but well, it's going to get colder in the evening, and it's going to go below freezing also at night, maybe even to -6 again in the early morning. So maybe I will have to again not sleep enough and wake up at 3 a.m, 4 a.m. and go for an adventure ride on some frozen swamps. Maybe, who knows. -20, says Tom. Is that the temperature where you do not need gloves anymore? But are you using bar mitts or something like that? So you only put gloves on when it's -20 or colder. Wonder how long it's gonna take here. And which ice creams should we buy? What are your favorite flavors? I guess my favorite would be Patty's, but I don't know if they have it. Tom is saying that they use mittens well, mittens, gloves, bar mitts, whatever. If you need any, what is the temperature where you do not need any clothing on your hands? Let me rephrase. Raspberry, that sounds good. Matt is saying it's always windy and rainy there, so they need gloves unless the temperature is above plus 15. Yeah, plus 10, plus 15 for me, maybe too, depending on said factors. So wind and rain indeed do play a role there. Yeah, they should really have much more ice cream kiosks open on a day like this. Indeed they should. I know that there's at least 3 of them open, but the 2 others are in places but which might be even more crowded. So no thanks for those places. JDVM, hello. They are asking if it's permitted to wear earphones while riding a bike in Oulu. I believe it is, unless... yeah. I don't actually know for sure, but I think it's legal. And then, well, I don't usually like to wear earphones, because I do like to hear surroundings. I've done it a couple of times for longer rides, let's say 24-hour rides and so on, if you ride on boring roads. I usually tend to avoid boring roads and go for the more interesting routes instead. And I want to hear the nature sounds. For example, today morning where we could hear the swans honking on the frozen swamps, and you would have the... what are those? What is kurki in English? It's called crane, the bird, the big one. When they are yelling, when they are singing in the wilderness where you don't hear anything for a moment, it's completely silent, and then you hear them singing. It gives you chills. It's just so beautiful. And Tom is asking what temperature do we not need clothing at all? Well, it depends indeed, like Matt is saying, if you're participating on the naked bike ride. And depends what you're used to. Soon we will have a possibility to look at the selection. Wonder if they have fazzerina. That is chocolate with orange truffle, I think. And then there's Patkis, which is mint chocolate. At least they have Oreo. It's the only way I can see only one way I can see the logo from. Tom saying great blue herons. A wonderful sound. I wonder if that's the same bird that I was talking about. Anyway, they're magnificent. The sound is just, like I said, it gives you chills. At least in that A stand they are saying that they've got the old-time strawberry, old-time chocolate, mango watermelon or mango melon, and rainbow in that one. Also it says that if you want to have coffee with you, coffee to go is €1.50. And over there you will have the selection. Soon we can go and have a look at that. Tom is asking if there's a greenhouse to my left. Oh, greenhouse, yeah. Actually, yes it is. There's a couple of greenhouses over there, and oftentimes they are open for the audience for free, and you can go take a walk inside there and look at all those interesting plants that you've never seen before here in the far north. Soon. Let's have a look at these already. There's Dime and Dime licorice, Oreo, salty caramel brownie, lemon licorice, salt licorice, orange croquant, pecan with caramel, Solero, rainbow, rum raisin, old time chocolate, old time strawberry, old time vanilla, mud cake, raspberry sorbet, mango melon, pear, chocolate duo, whatever that is, choice toffee, choice coconut passion, and then some individual bars and cones. Interesting. Wonder what it's going to be. The queue is building up behind me also. Of course you can have a picnic here, right next to the snowbanks. Vessel, whatever that's called, Tinkles. Yes.
3,50.
Johon sillä kestää?
No niin, nyt.
Yes, kiitoksia. Ei tarvitse kuittia. Just tell me if this sounds disgusting. At least it doesn't taste disgusting. Put the gloves there on the rack. Maybe I'll just put this on mute for a second so that you don't have to listen to my eating sounds. Be back soon. And please feel free to discuss in the chat meanwhile. Now there's a wonderful question in the chat from Tom. I've made them hungry for ice cream. And it's only 9 a.m. over there. Is it permitted to eat ice cream for breakfast? It definitely is. And it's not only allowed, it is almost a requirement. At least sometimes you need to eat ice cream for breakfast. And lunch and dessert. And dinner and snack and whatever. Maybe not all of those in the same day. But if you want to, go for it. I'm sorry the audio is off so that you don't have to listen to me eating ice cream. I'll be back shortly. Alright, can you hear me now? That was some delicious ice cream. Yeah, sure, okay, sure. I admit eating it a bit faster so that you wouldn't have to wait too much. I'll have time to eat much more ice cream later with more time. Wonderful. Now just let's adjust this screen a bit. Damn it, these are supposed to be touchscreen gloves but do not work too well. Oh, I think Tom already had the ice cream breakfast. Which ice cream did you have? Let me know. Tom is asking if I have an ice cream mustache. I don't know. I wonder if I should let you know. Let's see if I can switch the camera. No, just a moment. You guys are giving me difficult questions. There we go. This is the ice cream in my mustache. I hope not. And Tom had raspberry ice cream. Of course you did. Should have guessed. Is it some specific brand of raspberry ice cream, or is it made self-made? What is the raspberry content in it? 1%, 10%, 100%? You know, there's a small local brand that makes amazing ice cream from raspberry, and it also includes a hint of raspberry liquor. Oh, I was happy to see tiny kiddos, kick bikes and regular bikes. Oh, how cool is that? Look at the joy. Yeah, so I was saying that there's this amazing small brand that makes raspberry ice cream where they have more than 30% of the total weight is Finnish strawberries, and then like 7% of raspberry liquor. That stuff is just amazing. It's also quite expensive. I once bought a 5-liter box of it. That also weighs like 5 kilos almost. That costs like 50 euros. The kiddos having a picnic over there, or some jogging, whatever. I don't know though what the kiddos are doing nowadays. Some saying that they buy raspberries and mix it themselves. Ah, that sounds so good. I oftentimes use frozen raspberries as ice cubes. Why would I put some just water in my drink when I can put some raspberries and make the drink keep cool that way? Oh, the camera beat like that, yeah. There's a wonderful restaurant over there, Tuba. They sell a lot of vegan, vegetarian and organic and local and all that good stuff. Not only vegan or vegetarian, but they have wonderful options on that side too. But now that we have our ice cream, let's go and look at the bicycle superhighway construction site that we quickly glimpsed in the very beginning of this video. So and we are now at the very edge of the city center. It's on my right over there. That's actually where the grid starts. And you can see it there in the distance. It's a bit slower if you would want to go cycle through there, so I'm not gonna do it this time. Instead I'll take shortcuts from here. Oh, maybe I could go through the city center also. At least partly. Let's go this way. Now, careful. At least they're well looking. But not early enough. Across the road here. This is the road. On Koulukatu, literally School Street. We got headwind, like always in Oulu. They oftentimes say that there's always wind from 3 directions in Oulu. So when you're going, you've got headwind. When you're coming back, you've got headwind. And there's always also the wind is coming from the sea. So that's a total of 3 directions. They really should do some traffic calming on this street too. This is just way too wide. It's officially 2 lanes, but there's space for like 4 lanes. Luckily, you have to look at each crossing, each junction. There's a way, right of way for the vehicles that come from the right, so you basically have to almost come to a stop in almost every crossing or junction. Street art over there. So the city center, the downtown, is really small in Oulu. We already cycled through half of that. A bit jokingly. Let's go here. This bike path was retrofitted here, so it's basically just painted onto an oncoming or existing infrastructure. And you can see that people aren't even paying too much attention when they're walking, even when you can see the surface markings quite clearly. Yeah, infrastructure could still be better. There's so much space here dedicated for cars or still. See how many people cycled here today. There's a counter on my left now. It says 887. I'm not surprised that it's a bit smaller number because this one is far from the most comfortable routes. It's too narrow and it's noisy from all the car traffic and so on. Here for a second. Okay, also this is really uncomfortable because of the high number of traffic lights required for all that motor traffic. So also one reason why I do not like this route here. Tom's saying that they need to run. There's some protests going on and they wish their city was at peace. Well, I wish it would be as well as should the whole world be. Sad to hear that we still need protests. Nothing wrong with protests, definitely no. I like that people are active to change things. It's just a pity that they are needed. And we got Patrick here also from sunny Hamburg, Germany. What is the temperature in Hamburg now? So, earlier I mentioned about the construction. And the bicycle superhighway construction is going to start from here. So as you see, it gets a bit more narrow and it's no longer separated in the current situation. But this is going to be widened into 6.6 meters wide separated bicycle and pedestrian path, which is going to be 4 meters for people cycling and 2.5 for people walking. I cut down some trees, unfortunately we had to do that. Make space. We could have taken a lane away from there. It's a national highway, 22 to Kajaani, to east southeast from Oulu. But yeah, 2 lanes per direction, there would be definitely enough. You wouldn't need the third one. Or let's say 1 regular lane and 1 bus lane would be enough. And now it's 2 regular lanes and 1 bus lane. Over there on the other side, you probably can't see it, but it says air temperature is plus 10 degrees Celsius. Patrick's saying that it's 13 and they call it summer. Well, we call it that summer too. It's plus 10 now here. And there's another hello from Germany. Good to have you here, Freiherr von Böckendorf. And they're asking if I'm wearing the nice bike shirt they gifted me way back in Syöte. No, not now actually. That would be too hot. And I'm just wearing a regular t-shirt with actually the logos of all national parks in Finland. 40 of them currently, maybe soon 41 or 42, hopefully, if Salla and some others are accepted as national parks. Those of you who have been to Finland, have you been to Finnish national parks? If you haven't, and even if you haven't been to Finland, you definitely should visit our national parks. So beautiful nature there and wonderful, and they are all free. Of course, you don't pay to go in the national park, or you don't pay any fee. So yeah, this one is going to be much wider. As you see, it's 3 meters probably now, going to be a bit more than double this wide. Patrick's saying that it's good to see that they actually count the number of pedestrians and cyclists. That's a great way to encourage people to cycle as they see that they are not the only one. Well, yeah, exactly, that's good. But much more important reasons for the counting are data. So that you have actual reliable data that you can show to politicians, decision makers, and you can show to the world that hey, we've got 2,000 people cycling on this path every day when it's -5, for example. Those people who are in their cars inside their metal boxes, they will never believe that otherwise, because they never go. Whoa, you've got brushing going on. Whoa. Nice here now. Connection is unstable. Fucking hell, this dust. Oof. Yeah, they have a water container there, and they are using that to make the surface wet so that it wouldn't cause. Wow. Connection is getting better now. Well, it's quite about time. So we are now on the cycling main route number 8 to Muhos. You can continue 34 kilometers on this path. I'll need to move that because they are. I need to work here now. Let's not interrupt that. So yeah, this is how the previous section is going to look like too, in a couple of months time, I hope. So now you got to see the before, and this is kind of the after. Of course, I'll do a video when it's actually completed, that section too. But since this section was built last year because they built that street next to it, so they built this at the same time to save some costs. And we are going to build the next section also, which starts in a couple of 100 meters. We have already started working there also. So let's go over there and see how they do the detours, how it's signposted, and is it well done, because that is crucial. And really oftentimes in many cities around the world, the detours for construction sites on bicycle paths, be it related to bicycle path or not, or completely something else, they are usually just appalling, horrible, no signage, no detour, and so on. But that shouldn't be the case here. I hope you could hear all of that, because I've noticed that sometimes when this app gives me the message that internet connection is unstable, it could be that it cuts out a few seconds, even maybe 30 seconds even at the worst case. I hope that didn't happen right now. So here you can see where this section that we built last year ends and where the construction site begins. The drainage here is poor, as you see, and the old path from 70s or 80s is damaged. You see the cracks. And here you see again crucial things: drainage, drainage. There's pretty much no drainage on the left side from the schoolyard. Those are bike parking spots. But all of that snow that's still there, that's going to melt and go into that tiny space. Some of it gets absorbed into the ground, but some is going to just flow over the path. And if it's going to be icy, if it's going to be freezing in the winter time, in the night time, it is going to get icy. So over here we've got our first construction spot, and they are building a new underpass here. It's going to go directly through here. I don't know if you can see the yellow excavator over there in the distance in the center of the frame now, but that's where it's going to go. The current one it's over there. You can see the bridge in the distance. That's narrow, and that takes a small detour. So this one is going to be straight. It's going to be much wider. It's going to allow you much better visibility, and it's going to be much more fast and comfortable. But in order to build that, you need a detour also for the motor traffic. And unfortunately, this is also an ambulance route, so we need to build a detour there. And to build that detour, we unfortunately need to cut down the and close. Yes, Patrick is saying there's connection issues again. I hope they are past now. How is the connection now? Video quality, sound quality, can you hear me? So the detour is going here. Sign is difficult to see because the sun is on over there. There you can see it better. So if you're going to Muhos or Maikkula, we'll go that way. And let's follow that and go that way into this older underpass. So this is regularly a secondary bicycle path, which is now signposted detour because there's a construction site going on left from here. So behind those trees, these spruces, there's national highway. Luckily the speed limit is just 60 kilometers per hour, so it's not too noisy. Well, it is too noisy, can I say, but it could be even worse if it was 80 or 100 even. So regularly the main path goes on the other side, but now as we are making it wider, it's closed so they can actually work on it. And there's 2 signposted alternative routes, which are not optimal, but it's a really difficult spot to build any more direct routes. Buddha is saying it's better now, the connection is better now. Happy to hear that. We are entering Kaukovainio, which, like in my previous live stream, I was telling, some people like to call one of the 3 ghettos in Oulu. It's totally nice place to live in, and it's quite cheap as well. Poor drainage here again. You see water is melting from the snow over there on the left and flowing on the bike path. Not good, not good. At least they haven't brushed it yet, so there's some sand and gravel to prevent possible slipperiness. This is poor 70s design. So here's again the signposts guiding us this way. So if our ghetto looks like this, how are the better places then like? I mean, this is totally fine. Mid-rises and, in our scale, high-rises basically, and nice bicycle paths. Of course, crossing these areas. Let's go here. So how do you guys like this area? Does it look like to you? Would you live here? I don't know what kind of apartments or houses you guys prefer, but it's cheap. You can probably rent a flat of 50 square meters for 500 euros a month, probably including heat and maybe even internet. In my opinion, there should be a couple of extra signposts just to make sure that you are on the right path, right detour. There is one up ahead, I can see that. Max Lobo is saying it looks a bit blurry. Wonder if it's because of the buildings here or the internet connection. And Buddha says they would live anywhere over here, haha. And Patrick saying they've seen much worse places to live. Yeah, me too. So here is again one of the temporary signposts, and they also have a map here in case you're wondering. So here, hopefully the connection is better here. Because at the previous spot I was filming this same kind of map. We were over there then, and they are building the new underpass here. There is the existing underpass, but it's making a small detour and it's narrow and there's visibility problems, so they are building a new one. But for the underpass construction, they need to cut this bike path, which is going to be upgraded to modern standard bicycle superhighway. And we are now testing if we can follow the guidance on this curvy and bendy detour to go back to this place. We've got Luca here, wonderful. Hello, how are you? It's +10 now, so it's really warm. Yeah, let's continue now. this way, and there is a wonderful downhill here. Or uphill for some people. Hello Luca, yes of course I remember you. Good to have you here. We're now going 32 kilometers per hour, 33, 34. Crossing a ski track. Doesn't look too good anymore. Still probably skiable. Not probably with your best skis. So here we are. So this is the path that's closed now with a temporary signage saying that this is a construction site and there's no admittance to this place. And again there's the map. It could be a bit bigger in my opinion. This is probably the A2 size, is it? I presume so. And we've got Freiherr von Böckendorf saying that the stump jumper I was riding was way less easy than this machine. This is a wonderful machine, I mean. The Swedish Svalan single speed Oma Feats from 1941, so it's 80 years old. It's a wonderful one. I really like it. Single speed and coaster brake. Works like a charm. Patrick is asking if I know how many euros the city is spending for the cycling infrastructure. I don't, and nobody else knows it either, because whenever we are building new areas, bicycle infrastructure is always included as a part of that budget, so it's kind of baked in, so nobody can actually dig out the numbers from there. But for specific projects like this is costing about 2.7 million euros to build this section of 3 or 4 kilometers of bicycle superhighway, including this one expensive underpass and building a detour for the motor traffic. Alright, and then there's an interesting place where I still might try to go to. Let's go back this way. Freiherr is saying, and drive North Shores with this thing please, and do wheelies. One of them will be easy with that frame. I'm sure they would. Not too much North Shores here though, I'm afraid. And especially doing that while filming with one hand, and yeah, that's beyond my skills. But we still have like 30 minutes time to make it to a microbrewery. What do you guys think? Can we make it? I don't even know what's the distance. Oh no, we have some uphill. And there's quite a lot of snow here. Would you look at that? But here the drainage is much better. As you see, there's ditches on both sides of the bike path, so the water is not flowing on the bike path, not making it icy overnight. It's quite good, apart from this uphill, which is always so nice on a single speed bike. And you can also see some poor winter maintenance here. It's not plowed to the full width, as you see. So Patrick, how about in your city? Do you know how much the city is investing in bicycle infrastructure annually? And please note that I use the word invest and not spend, because when you are using money for bicycle infrastructure, it's investing. It's investing in better society, people's health, physical, mental well-being of everyone, and it returns the investment many times. Infrastructure from 70s, not ideal. Let's go this way. Thanks. They didn't have to yield, but they gave way to me. This is interesting bike path. As you see here on the edges, you see the thin line. That is actually wood. So there's wooden edges on both sides of this path. Or reconstructed with some other method. Again, getting the message internet connection is unstable. How is it? Message disappeared. I hope it's stable again. Thanks for obeying the traffic rules. Patrick's saying that there in Hamburg it is said that they spend about 10 euros per person in the cycling infrastructure. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. But it should be double, triple of that. And then you start to get some proper results. I wonder how much that figure is in the US, for example. I believe it is. Might even be just a fraction of that. Which is sad. They're saying, Patrick is saying it isn't a lot, that 10 euros per person annually, since there is a lot need for improvement. Indeed, I have cycled in Berlin, but that was a long time ago. When was it? Maybe 2008? Oh no. Me and my then girlfriend, we traveled to Berlin for this one agrotech band, a Mexican one, their 20-year anniversary gig. The band is called Hocico, and can't even remember the venue or which year it was. But that must have been like 2012, 2013, 2014. So it's been like 7 or 9 years since I was there. Let's go to left. And would you look at that? There's a mother cycling with 2 kiddos. Always so happy to hear that or see that. The only thing that makes me even more happier is when the kiddos are cycling alone. Would you look at that joy? Always makes me smile. And what they're saying now, Patrick's saying the problem is that the responsible politicians have no courage to improve the infrastructure, as this means taking away space from cars. Indeed, I've heard that so many times. And I just can't wrap my head around that. Why do they think some metal boxes in the city center are so important? Much more important than the people who actually live there or who would like to enjoy the city. The city center should be like a living room for its citizens, not a metal box storage room. And as Patrick is saying, that when the kids are cycling, that's a good sign that the infrastructure is safe and of high quality. Indeed. We've got quite a lot of kids cycling here. As some might know that in some schools, even 90% of kids cycle to school, and the rest walk or ski or kick sled or scoot, and only a minority are brought in with cars. Depending on the school, in the edges of the city there are higher modal shares for car traffic also, unfortunately. Now there's Harry in the chat saying that this year they are using 17 to 18 euros per person in the cycling infrastructure here in Oulu. That's good to know, thanks Harry. I didn't know that number. And Harry, what is the forecast for coming years? Will we be able to boost that number higher up? And Freiherr is saying that in their town bike lanes are on the street and mostly end on roundabouts without any warning or something. Yeah, and that's the case in so many cities around the world also, so no, not the way to go. And I'm sure that you do not see too many kids cycling in that kind of circumstances, conditions. As you see, the bike paths here in Oulu, they go through the city districts, through suburbs, and even though you can follow main car streets, motor traffic streets on your bike, and there is oftentimes or usually a bike path along the busiest streets also, you can still choose alternative routes that are oftentimes much shorter. And it's especially much more comfortable, excluding sometimes the dog walkers. Patrick says they live next to a school and always they see moms and dads bringing their kids to school in their stupid fat SUV. Many of them would directly drive in their car into the classroom if they could. Fucking hell. Yeah, I believe you. I can't say really much else to that. We're in Mäntylä now. Beautiful bike paths here. Although this one is a bit bad condition, well, totally rideable and smooth. Could be better. Some year this one is also going to be upgraded into the modern standard bicycle superhighway. Yeah, and that situation, what Patrick said, the parents that would take their kids with an SUV into the classroom if it were possible, that is happening in the middle of the city of 1.8 million people. That is Berlin, I suppose. And we've got Superdestrier here. Hello, good to have you here. Where are you from? What's the temperature over there? What's the weather like? Oulu. It's so hot here now, it's plus 10. So please do not give us any more warmer temperatures than this. No, I'm joking. Plus 20 is fine still. Plus 24 is my comfortable maximum. Let's go this way. But anything warmer than plus 20 is usually way too hot. I can tolerate plus 20. 25, 24 for a couple of days, but please no more than that. And would you believe that the warmest I have ever been to, apart from sauna of course, is plus 40 in Budapest, Hungary. And luckily I had a bicycle there to use, so I could get at least some wind chill. And Superdestrier is from the SF Bay area, 47 Fahrenheit in Oakland. What does that do in Celsius? 32 Fahrenheit is